Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now for those new here, my name is Lynn Taggart. I'm a real estate agent in Central Oklahoma, and on my channel I make these videos to try and help people from all over the country learn a little bit about this place I've called home all my life, Oklahoma. I'd love to help you if you're interested in moving here. My contact information is shown in the description box down below. Feel free to call, text, or email me if you'd like to learn more. Now, speaking of people moving here, I've shown this graphic before, but this is a migration map I recently got from Redfin that shows specific cities where people are coming from that are moving to Oklahoma City. Many folks moving here from the West Coast, as you can see. I made a video here a couple of weeks ago for the folks in California contemplating a move here. Lots of interest in that one, and lots of, shall we say, strong opinions in the comments as well. But did you notice that Texas, our neighbor to the south, in particular the Dallas-Fort Worth area, is also sending a lot of folks our way these days? Now, why could that be? Comment down below. I'm curious what you think is behind this trend. So in today's video, I'm going to cover some of the reasons why I believe this is occurring. Now, before we dive headfirst into that discussion, do me a huge favor. Hit the like and subscribe buttons. Doing so lets the YouTube algorithm know that, you know what, you like the content I'm putting out. And honestly, it keeps me motivated to continue cranking out this content. Also, tap the notifications bell and YouTube will let you know when I post new videos, which I try to do every week. Now, when we talk about the reasons why Texans are packing up and moving to Oklahoma, aside from the traditional reasons, being closer to family, say, or perhaps a job-related move, what I think we may be seeing is a result of Texas becoming a little bit of a victim of its own success. What do I mean by that? Well, you'd have to be living under a rock to not know that Texas's economy is booming and that transplants by the thousands are flocking to the Lone Star State from places like LA, San Diego, San Francisco, Sacramento, Portland, Seattle, Chicago, New York, and elsewhere. From July 2020 to July 2021 alone, Texas added 170,000 new residents. I suspect that number has been getting larger every year. Now, Texas' economy is now second in the United States only to California, and the Texas economy has been growing faster than California's. Then there are all those companies moving to Texas and all their employees. Texas now is number one in the U.S. in terms of the number of Fortune 500 companies headquartered there. It seems like everyone is moving to Texas these days. And that's only counting the legal migration to Texas from out of state, saying nothing about all the illegal immigration taking place down at the Texas border. But is all that growth coming now at a cost that has manifested itself into some of the items we're about to talk about? Things like increased crime, traffic, taxes, cost of living, and housing affordability. Could it be that Oklahoma is now finding itself as the unintended beneficiary as Texans flee the state because of all this rampant growth and its negative effect on their lives? And in comparison, how does Oklahoma stack up in each of these areas? Well, let's talk about it. First up is crime. Now, Texas is a pretty dangerous state, and with current events now taking place there, more dangerous than ever. Without doing a deep dive into all of this, let's just look at the number of violent crimes, in this case, homicides. Texas is way up there, coming in at number 2 in the nation with 2,020 homicides occurring there in 2022, second only to California. The state's high crime rate is partly due to its size and population, but also because of its proximity to the Mexican border, which has a high level of cartel-associated drug trafficking and associated violence. And with no check on the huge number of illegals crossing the border in Texas every day, that trend is likely to continue or possibly worsen. Now contrast that to Oklahoma. Oklahoma comes in at number 25 in the nation with 270 homicides occurring here in 2022. All right, let's turn our attention to the second item, traffic. Now, as we already discussed, there are a lot of people moving to Texas these days, primarily to the likes of Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, and Austin. And all of these cities are really spread out, meaning a car is essential to get around. Lots of cars are already on the road, and lots of new people moving in that own cars, which means one thing: increased traffic. In a recent Texas A&M study on traffic congestion in 25 of the largest cities across the U.S., Austin, Dallas, and Houston all made the list. Austin came in at number 18, Dallas at number 14, and Houston made the top 10, coming in at number 9. Looking at it in terms of how many hours per year are spent stalled in traffic delays, in Austin you would spend 53 hours a year, in Dallas 56 hours a year, and in Houston a whopping 74 hours a year just waiting in traffic. I hope you have a good podcast to listen to. Now contrast that to Oklahoma. No city in Oklahoma even made the list. Now, we're just as spread out here as they are in Texas. The only difference is getting around here via car is a breeze, with no more than a 30-minute commute anywhere you want to go, with relatively light traffic year-round. taxes. Now, admittedly, this one surprised me. WalletHub published their annual tax burden report, which is state by state. And to do this, they compared the 50 states across the 3 tax types: individual state income taxes, local sales and excise taxes, and property taxes, to determine how much of a person's income goes to pay these 3 taxes combined each year. Now, I just assumed that Texas would trounce Oklahoma because Texas has no state income tax. But as ESPN's Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. As it turns out, in the 2023 report, Oklahoma has a lower overall tax burden than Texas, coming in at number 41 in the nation, which, by the way, the higher the number, the lower the taxes, at 7.12% of a typical person's annual income. Now, Texas comes in at number 29 at 8.01%. Now, why would that be if Texas has no state income tax? Which, by the way, as an aside, I found out the states of Alaska, Washington, Wyoming, Nevada, South Dakota, and Florida also have no state income tax. So why is Texas so high? Well, the culprit is property taxes. They are sky high in Texas compared to Oklahoma. Oklahoma comes in at number 47 when it comes to property taxes, at 1.76% of personal income. Texas comes in at number 8, at 4% of their income is spent to pay property taxes. Yikes. Sales and excise taxes are pretty close in both states. Oklahoma comes in at number 15 at 3.67%, Texas at number 11 at 4.01%. Oklahoma is cheaper than Texas when it comes to taxes. Now let's turn to the biggie, cost of living. Now here I assumed that Oklahoma would trounce Texas, and in this case, I was right. According to an August 2023 report put out by Forbes comparing the cost of living in each of the 50 states, Oklahoma was ranked number 47. Again, the higher the ranking, the lower the cost of living. And Oklahoma came in with the 4th lowest cost of living in the entire United States at $33,966 per year, trailing only Alabama, Arkansas, and Mississippi. Now, by comparison, Texas came in at number 27 with a cost of living of $37,582 per year. Now, let's look at median home prices. Again, Oklahoma was near the bottom at number 48 with a median home price of just shy of $200,000, making it the state with the 3rd lowest home prices in the United States, trailing only Mississippi and West Virginia. Texas, by contrast, came in at number 29 with a median home price of $304,000, 50% higher than Oklahoma, by the way. Now, let's not forget about the renters out there, too. Continuing the trend, Oklahoma came in at number 37 in the U.S. with a median monthly rent of $1,071 a month. Texas came in at number 20 with a median monthly rent of $1,318 per month. So that's looking at numbers on a state-by-state level, but let's dig a little deeper and compare Oklahoma City with, say, Dallas, Houston, and Austin to see how cost of living metrics stack up there. So comparing Dallas to Oklahoma City, Dallas is 14.7% more expensive than Oklahoma City. Now, breaking that down further, Dallas is more expensive on food and groceries, housing, utilities, transportation, and miscellaneous expenses. It's less expensive than Oklahoma City only on healthcare costs. Comparing Oklahoma City to Houston, Houston is 11.8% more expensive, with Houston being more expensive on food and groceries, housing, transportation, and miscellaneous costs. Tying with Oklahoma City on utilities cost, and Houston is less expensive once again than Oklahoma City on healthcare. Austin, the numbers get worse. Austin is 33.8% more expensive than Oklahoma City, with Austin being more expensive on food and groceries, housing, utilities, transportation, and miscellaneous. Austin's less expensive on healthcare like the other 2 cities. Now let's zero in on just housing. Average current median home price in Oklahoma City is $240,000. In Dallas, it's $397,000, in Houston, $333,000, and in Austin, buckle your seatbelts. Median home price in Austin is a whopping $492,000, more than double the median home price in Oklahoma City. This one factor, cost of living, is most assuredly the driving force behind a lot of folks heading to the Sooner State, and rightly so. So besides this list of things, what else could be driving folks to leave Texas and move to Oklahoma? Well, one theory being floated out there is that with its reputation as a place where conservative values and beliefs are still the norm, perhaps Oklahoma is becoming a refuge of sorts for those like-minded Texans who perceive there's a shift in values taking place, with the large influx of transplants moving in from California and other states. So much so that they're looking to live elsewhere. I did see a quote the other day from a Texan who's moving out of state, and when asked why, he said, "I'm moving out of Texas to get away from the Californians moving into Texas." All across Texas, there seems to be a lot of resentment brewing these days as a result of this recent influx of all of these out-of-state transplants. Another possibility for for this increased interest in Oklahoma is that many now are finally viewing Oklahoma differently, as a place offering fresh new opportunity. While coming up short, just recently Texas was neck and neck with Austin in a battle to become the home for Tesla's new factory. In the process, the exposure the state received shows that large employers are also starting to reassess how they think about Oklahoma, increasingly viewing the state as a serious place to do business. Oklahoma, for its part, also isn't sitting idly by either and taking active steps to make the state more attractive to folks ready to make a move. Tulsa, for example, now has its Tulsa Remote program, which will pay workers $10,000 to work in the Tulsa area for at least a year. How about that? Since its inception in 2020, the program has now had 2,500 folks take them up on the offer. What a deal. Oklahoma City has upped the ante in recent years with a massive effort to improve its downtown area, made possible by a 1% sales tax called the MAPS initiative, which resulted in new parks, a new downtown canal waterway attraction, a la the Riverwalk in San Antonio, featuring a ton of new restaurants and hotels surrounding it, a new basketball arena, a new streetcar system downtown, and a new convention center. Oklahoma City's airport has also undergone an extensive remodel as well. As a result, Oklahoma City has truly been transformed in recent years, and people are starting to take notice. Believe it or not, but Oklahoma City is now becoming one of the nation's fastest growing large cities, climbing past Boston and Washington, D.C. to become the 20th largest by population, right behind Denver. More than 100 companies have come to Oklahoma in the last 5 years, including 29 just last year, and 6 companies just moved their headquarters here. So, to wrap this all up and put a big old bow on it, if you're in Texas, or anywhere else actually, and any of this resonates with you and you're thinking of packing up and moving to little old Oklahoma, for whatever reason, give me a call, shoot me a text or email, and let's talk about possibly making the Sooner State your future home. I'd love to meet you and chat. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed this content, I'd be honored if you'd hit the like and subscribe buttons as well as the notification bell to alert you when I put out new content, which I try to do each and every week. And please comment down below. Do you think I'm off base here? Or is there some truth to what I'm saying? I'm curious what you have to say. So that's it for this week's edition, folks. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Adios, everyone.